Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Achievers. So today's the topic is about the repetition. So I have divided the entire topic of repetition into the following topics. Firstly, we will see the introduction part. Then we will see what is the writ. Then we will see what are the kinds of writ. Then we will see who can file a writ petition. Then we will see where can writ petition be filed. Then we will see the how the jurisdiction of Supreme Court is different from that of High Court, and then lastly we will see the conclusion part.
The first topic is about the introduction of writ petition. So, as we all know, when there are rights, there are certain remedies for such rights. Likewise, fundamental rights are contained in Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, which starts from the Article 12 to 35. Merely providing for fundamental rights is not sufficient. It is essentially that these fundamental rights are protected and enforced as well. To protect fundamental rights, the Indian Constitution, under the two most important articles, which are Article 32 and 226, provides the right to approach the highest court, which is Supreme Court or High Court, respectively, to any person whose fundamental rights have been violated. At the same time, the two articles give the right to the highest courts of the country to issue writs in order to enforce fundamental rights. The Supreme Court and High Court have power to issue writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto under the two articles, Article 32 and 226 respectively. So the power to issue writs is primarily a provision made to make available the right to constitutional remedies to every citizen. Also, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar called Article 32 of the Indian Constitution, that is right to constitutional remedies, as the heart and soul of the Constitution. The next topic is what is a writ. Fundamentally, a writ is a formal written order issued by anybody, executive or judicial, authorized to do so. In modern times, this body is generally judicial. Therefore, a writ can be understood as a formal written order issued by a court having authority to issue such an order. Orders, warrants, directions, summons, etc. are all essentially writs. Anything that is issued under an authority is a writ. Orders, warrants, direction, etc. issued under authority are examples of writs. So, writs are a written order from Supreme Court or High Court that commands constitutional remedies for Indian citizens against the violation of their fundamental rights. The next topic is what are the kinds of writs. Article 32 and 226 specifically provide for 5 kinds of writs. These writs are issued in different circumstances and have different implications. So the 5 types of writs are habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. Starting with the first writ, which is habeas corpus. Habeas corpus literally means to have the body. This writ is used to release a person who has been unlawfully detained or imprisoned. By virtue of this writ, the court directs the person so detained to be brought before it to examine the legality of his detention. If the court concludes that the detention was unlawful, then it directs the person to be released immediately. So, the object of the writ of the habeas corpus is not to punish the person who has illegally detained prisoner, but the object of the writ of the habeas corpus is to free a person who has been detained illegally. So, the habeas corpus can be issued on following grounds. Number one, when the person is detained illegally or without any justification. Number two, when a person is arrested under a law which is unconstitutional. Number three, when detention is done to harm the person or is malafide. And number four, if detainee authority has not taken procedural steps. Also, habeas corpus cannot be issued in the following cases: when detention is lawful, when the proceeding is for contempt of a legislature or a court, detention is by a competent court, and last, detention is outside the jurisdiction of the court. Thus, the writ of habeas corpus has been described as a great constitutional privilege. The second writ is mandamus. Mandamus means we command. Mandamus is a judicial remedy in the form of an order from a superior court to any government, court, corporation, or public authority to do or forbear from doing some specific act which that body is obliged under law to do or refrain from doing, and which is in the nature of public duty and in certain cases one of a statutory duty. Basically, this writ is directed towards a person who is required under law to perform a specific duty. By this writ, the authority is compelled to do that duty which is under the authority to do. So the mandamus can be issued on the following grounds: lack of jurisdiction, error of jurisdiction, excess of jurisdiction, abuse of jurisdiction, violation of the principle of natural justice, jurisdictional facts. Again, in the following cases, writ of mandamus shall not be issued against the state legislature, against the president or the governor, against an inferior or ministerial officer who is bound to obey the orders of his superiors. In the case of Bombay Municipality versus the Advanced Builders, the court directed the municipality to implement a planning scheme which was prepared it and approved by the government under the relevant statute, but on which no action was taken for a considerable time. The next writ is prohibition. Prohibition literally means to forbid. A writ of prohibition is issued by a court to prohibit the lower courts, tribunals, and other quasi judicial authorities from doing something beyond their authority. A lower court or a body receives a writ of prohibition, also known as a stay order, to stop acting beyond its powers. So in other words, the writ of prohibition, it compels the inferior courts to keep within the limit of its jurisdiction. There is a difference between the writ of mandamus and prohibition. Like, prohibition is issued to direct inactivity, and thus it differs from the mandamus which directs activity. So, what are the difference between the mandamus and prohibition? Like I said, while mandamus directs activity, prohibition directs the inactivity. Secondly, while mandamus can be issued against any public official, public body, corporation, inferior court, tribunal, or government, prohibition can be issued only against judicial and quasi-judicial authorities and not against administrative authorities, legislative bodies. The next writ is certiorari. So certiorari means to certify. When the court is of the opinion that a lower court or a tribunal has passed an order which is beyond its powers or committed an error of law, then through the writ of certiorari it may transfer the case to itself or quash the order passed by the lower court or tribunal. So there is a certain difference between the certiorari and the prohibition. Like, certiorari is issued to quash a decision after decision is taken by the lower tribunal, while prohibition is issuable before the proceedings are completed. The last writ is quo warranto. The writ of quo warranto means by what authority. Through this writ, the court calls upon a person holding a public office to show under what authority he holds that office. If it is found that the person is not entitled to hold that office, he may be ousted from it. Its objective is to prevent a person from holding an office he is not entitled to, therefore preventing usurpation of any public office. So, in other words, it protects citizens from being deprived of public office to which he may have a right. So, the next topic is who can file a writ petition. A writ petition can be filed by any person in the High Court under the Article 226 or under the Article 32 in the Supreme Court of India whose fundamental rights have been infringed or violated. Under the PIL, that is public interest litigation, any public spirited person may file a writ petition in the interest of the general public even if his own fundamental rights have not been infringed. Hence, the jurisdiction with the High Court under the Article 226 with regards to a writ petition is wider and extends to the constitutional rights too. So the next topic is where can a writ petition be filed? So the under the Article 32 of the Indian Constitution, a writ petition can be filed in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court can issue a writ only if the petitioner can prove that his fundamental rights have been infringed. It is important to note that the right to approach the Supreme Court in case of a violation of a fundamental right is in itself a fundamental right, since it is contained in Part 3 of the Indian Constitution. Next, under Article 226, a writ petition can be filed before any High Court within whose jurisdiction the cause of action arises, either wholly or in part. It is immaterial if the authority against whom the writ petition is filed is within the territory or not. So the power of the High Court to issue a writ is much wider than that of the Supreme Court. The High Court may grant a writ for the enforcement of fundamental rights or for any other purpose such as violation of any statutory duties by a statutory authority. Such a writ petition filed before a Supreme Court can be filed against a private person too. Where a fundamental right has been infringed, either the Supreme Court or High Court can be resorted to. It is not necessary to go to the High Court first and then only thereafter approach the Supreme Court. However, if a writ petition is filed directly in the Supreme Court, the petitioner has to establish why the High Court was not approached first. So the next topic is how the jurisdiction of Supreme Court differs from that of High Court. Article 32 of the Indian Constitution empowers the Supreme Court to issue the writs. Article 226 empowers the High Court of India to issue the writs as the same. However, there are a few differences between the writ jurisdiction of both the courts which are given as under. So I made the three differences between the High Court and the Supreme Court under these two articles. So the first difference is regarding the purpose. So under the Supreme Court, it only enforces fundamental rights, but in the High Court it enforces fundamental rights but also for other purposes. Now the expression for any other purpose refers to the enforcement of any ordinary legal right apart from the fundamental rights. In the next difference is the impasse. So under the Supreme Court, Article 32 empowers the Supreme Court to issue writs, and under the High Court, Article 226 empowers every High Court to issue the writs. Last difference is during the period of emergency. During the period of emergency, the fundamental rights except the Articles 21 and 22 can be suspended. Therefore, Article 32 can also be suspended during the period of emergency. But under the High Court, the President of India cannot suspend Article 226 during the period of emergency also. So lastly, conclusion. In India, Article 32 and 226 of the Constitution gives powers to the Supreme Court and High Court to issue writs in the nature of breach of fundamental rights of any citizen by the state. By such writs, the judiciary can control the administrative actions and prevent any kind of arbitrary use of power and discretion. There are 5 types of writs which were issued by the Supreme Court and High Court. Under Article 32 and 226 of the Constitution, habeas corpus and quo warranto being confined to specific situations, certiorari and mandamus are the two most important commonly sought writs to control the actions of administrative bodies. So the right to constitutional remedies, as we know, is the guarantor of all fundamental rights available to the people of India. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said, if I was asked to name any particular article in this entire constitution as the most important, an article without which the constitution would be a nullity, I would not refer to any other article except this one, Article 32. It is the very heart of it. So that's all regarding the entire topic of writ petition. Thank you so much, everyone.